Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to this training titled How Teachers Can Build a Strong Personal Brand and Position Themselves for More Opportunities and Higher Income. My name is Fortune Hunweze. I am an educator. I am someone who is dedicated to empower educators for higher income. On the side, beside being an educator, I am a digital person, I am a website designer, I am also a graphic designer, and I am pulling this knowledge together to help educators improve their income, acquire more skills, and get to perform better in what they are already doing. So, I want to thank you for taking time out to invest in yourself. One of the greatest investments any teacher can make is not just in acquiring certificates, no, but rather is in building reputation and a brand that open doors. There's a way you will get yourself so empowered, in this field of education that everybody is saying there's nothing in teaching in Nigeria, there's nothing in teaching in Nigeria. There's a level to which you will empower yourself and you become a powerhouse. You become someone everybody will admire and adore. So there is a level you will build yourself to, and parents will desire to have you teach their children. From far and near, when when the world begin to see that you are a teacher of value, then you will begin to receive calls, you begin to receive messages inviting you to teach their children online or even after school lessons. Now the truth is that we live in a world where competence alone is no longer enough. Your competence, your knowledge of that subject is no longer enough in our present dispensation. you know Many brilliant teachers have remained unnoticed, even though they are brilliant, while there are others with similar qualifications and might be even less brilliant than they are, but who has continued to attract opportunities simply because they have learned how to position themselves. So the first thing about becoming a global teacher, the first thing about teaching online and attracting clients is, first of all, learn how to position yourself. So today's session is designed to help you become more visible, more valuable, and more influential. That is the target of the whole of this seminar, to make you more visible to the global community, more valuable, and more influential. So by the end of this training, I believe you will begin to see yourself not just as a classroom teacher, but as an educator with potential, with tremendous potentials and values. So join me on this ride. Remember, the topic of this seminar is how teachers can build a strong personal brand and position themselves for more opportunities and higher income. So let's ride on now. By the end of this seminar, like I said earlier, you will understand why personal branding is very important. You will understand what personal branding is even all about. You will learn how to discover your uniqueness and position yourself strategically as a teacher to the global community. You will discover how to build credibility, online credibility. You will learn how to create visibility, and you also learn how to attract opportunities. Also, it is very, very important that you will learn practical ways to increase your income and create additional streams of revenue from your knowledge and your expertise. So this is not just theory, because everything we discuss today can be implemented immediately. So once you are done with this training, you begin to run and begin to implement everything that I am going to teach you. So sit tight as we continue on this ride. So why does this training matter? Why should this training matter to every teacher? Now, this training should matter to every teacher, because from this training, you can now become an educational consultant. As a teacher, you've been in the system, you've been teaching for years. So there are experiences you have gathered that if you package very well, you can share with other teachers, you can share as an education consultant with schools, and you will be paid for it. From what you already have as a teacher, you can become an online tutor. The opportunities are there. So opportunities today are not just limited to the classroom alone. No. As a teacher, you can also be an author. Now hear me. The writers of those materials you use in teaching in your class are human beings like you, are human beings like me. They don't have two heads. No, they are human beings like both of us, or like all of us. So you can also step up and begin to write educational materials. Also, you can become a speaker. Speak publicly at events for teachers and all that. You can become a speaker. Besides that, the world of education has changed dramatically. Years ago, the only way teachers earn money was through their salaries. And then, salaries were good. But today, technology is creating countless opportunities. So a teacher now, you can publish books online, teach online, create course contents for other teachers and the education institutions. You can even be a content creator where you create educational contents online. When you do that on social media platforms, if you get good followership, you can get monetized, whether on Facebook, whether on TikTok, whether on Instagram, whether on YouTube. You can get monetized and you begin to earn some good money. You can also become an education or academic influencer, impacting lives of students and all that. You cannot become an entrepreneur, an education entrepreneur. So there are myriad opportunities waiting for you. Your knowledge is valuable, and your brand determines how many people know about what you know. So branding is very, very important to anybody who wants to be an internationally recognized teacher or an internationally earning teacher. So when people hear the word branding, what does it mean? When people hear the word branding, many think it is only for big companies, maybe like Coca-Cola, like Apple, like IBM. But the truth is that branding is beyond that. Branding is much more than logos and colors. Yes, company logos or business logos, business colors for corporate organizations are part of branding elements. But that's not what branding is all about. Maybe on a different day, I will talk about corporate branding. But for today, we want to focus on personal branding. And what is personal branding? Personal branding, by definition, I will give it. You might find some other definitions somewhere else. But personal branding, by the definition I will give it for the purpose of this training, is simply the process of intentionally shaping how people perceive you. You intentionally shape, you intentionally create an image, a picture of yourself in the mind of people. So personal branding is every effort you put in making sure that people perceive you in the manner that you will want them to perceive you. Personal branding is your reputation. It speaks about your expertise. It is the value people associate with your name. That is your personal branding. What value do people see that they can get from you? That is personal branding. In other words, your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not present. When names are mentioned to you, what meaning, what definition, what comes to your mind about that person's name? is that person's brand. When people hear your name, what comes to their mind? Do they think of excellence? Do they think of integrity? Do they think of innovation? Do they think of professionalism? These things make up your personal brand. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So every teacher already has a brand. That is what so many of us have failed to understand, that we already have a brand. Whether you are intentional building that brand or not, people already have a picture of your personality. People who have come in contact with you, have interacted with you, have something they think about you, have something they believe that they know about you, have an impression that you have created in their mind by the reason of previous interactions with you. Some teachers are known for punctuality. Others are known for excellence. Some are known for creativity. Unfortunately, some are known also for negative things. The question is not whether you have a brand. The real question is, are you building your brand intentionally? There should be intentionality in developing, in building your brand. There should be intentionality. If you do not define your brand, my dear teacher, other people will define it for you. So let's continue. A strong personal brand can transform your career. That is the truth you must know. That a very strong personal brand can transform your career. A very strong personal brand can tell people that you are so excellent in teaching history, that you're so excellent in teaching geography, that you're so excellent in teaching English language, that by the time people look around, even in your vicinity, and they want someone to help them out, to help their children out in the matters of English language, they will say, go to that person. Bring that person on, and your problem will be solved. So, a strong personal brand can transform your career. It can lead to promotions. It can attract better jobs. It can open doors for private tutoring opportunities. It can also position you for speaking engagements and consulting opportunities. It can help you publish books and become authority in that field. When people are already hearing about you, when people are already seeing your teaching, how you handle the matters of education, whenever they hear that you have written a book in subject areas that they know you for, they cannot but agree that you are an authority in that area. And yes, it can significantly increase your income. Hear me well. Many opportunities come to people. Why? Because they are visible and they are trusted. Visibility, what people see about you, what people think they've observed in you. When people see you around doing something and doing it creatively and to their agreement almost perfectly, it creates opportunities. Opportunities is what creates income. So what should you be looking at? Creating a personal brand via visibility, and let that visibility create opportunities for higher income for you. So why is personal brand important for teachers? I've talked about some of these already. It's personal brand, it leads to promotion, it can attract better jobs. I've talked about that. So let's go to the next slide. Why many great teachers remain unknown. This is one very unfortunate thing. This is one of the things that pains my heart so much. I remember in my secondary school days, even in my primary school days, we have very, very, very wonderful teachers. Teachers who motivate children to go the extra mile to become better. I remember one of my teachers in the primary school who motivated me to change my handwriting. It wasn't easy for me, but she kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me until eventually I changed my handwriting to something very beautiful. My handwriting then was very, very horrible. But unfortunately, there are so many of such wonderful teachers who inspired us to learn physics, to read mathematics on our own and understand it. There are so many of those wonderful teachers who went unknown and who has even remained unknown even till now. Even in So it is something very painful that a bright teacher, a wonderful teacher, will go unnoticed, will, use his skill, his ability, his knowledge to teach, to make every effort in him. And at the end of the day, he doesn't get internationally recognized. It is something painful. Excellent teachers remain unknown. Not because they are not competent, no. Not because they are not hardworking, no. Not because they are invisible. Or rather, okay, sorry for that break. But just because they are invisible. Some are afraid of putting themselves out there. There are teachers who are so afraid. There are teachers who are afraid of putting themselves out there. Now, the truth is that for as long as you are afraid of putting yourself out there, it means that you are afraid of putting money in your pocket. Because the more you put yourself out there, the more people get to know you, the more people get to know what you do, and the more people will want to patronize you. You can't hide yourself in the cupboard of your classroom, in the cupboard of your home, and expect people to patronize your art. No, my dear teacher, you have to come out of that. You need to come out of that. Some are afraid of putting themselves out there. Some believe that talking about their achievements is pride. No. Your achievement is your testimonial that will make people want to experience you and experience your skill and knowledge. So you need to talk to people, tell people what you are capable of doing for them, what you have done for others, and what you are capable of doing for them. Others simply do not understand how the modern world works. So let me say this very clearly. Humility is good, but invisibility is costly. Let that be at the back of your mind. It's good to be humble. It's good not to want to brag and boast. It's good. But remember, invisibility is expensive. Invisibility is costly. It's costing you money. You're losing money on a daily basis. You can humbly put out your act out there. So don't be scared of anything. Those who are doing it, those who are earning by teaching online or by doing other things online are human beings like you. They don't have two heads. You can do it. All you need is to learn how to do it. So if people do not know what you do, they cannot recommend you or patronize you. Excellence without visibility often remains unrewarded. Excellence without visibility often remain unrewarded. Now, there's a need for you to change your mindset if you want to go into online teaching. Many teachers say, I'm just a teacher, but I want you to stop saying that. There is no such thing as just a teacher. People see themselves, teachers often see themselves as ordinary teachers. Sir, ma, watching me and hearing me, you are not ordinary. You are special. You are playing a key role in the society, molding and modeling lives. So you are special. So don't just see yourself as just a teacher, as an ordinary teacher. I want you to stop saying that. There is no such thing as ordinary teacher. Teachers shape nations. Teachers build leaders. Teachers influence destinies. So instead of saying I'm just a teacher, why not say I am an educator with value? That should be the mindset. I am an educator with value. I am an impactor of knowledge. Instead of saying my salary is my only source of income, why not say my knowledge can create wealth? That should be the mindset. I have knowledge in me, and I believe that this knowledge can create wealth. Because until you begin to see yourself as someone who is carrying resources in you, sellable resources beyond your classroom, beyond the school where you're presently teaching, you might not make it beyond the present level of income that you are earning. So change your mindset. See yourself as a carrier of very valuable resources. Instead of saying that opportunities are scarce, my dear, say opportunities are abundant. Everything, success, failure, begins with a mindset. I think the good book says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So as you think in your heart, so you will be, so you will remain. Begin to look out for opportunities here and there because they are abundantly available. The moment I changed my mindset concerning income, that was when I began to see that I can write ebooks, which I have done, that I can create educational content, which I am heavily doing. You know, I begin to incorporate my other skills, graphic design, website design, into teaching. And it's creating unique opportunities for me. So begin to, see yourself beyond where and how you are presently. Now that we have understood why personal branding matters, the next question becomes, what makes you different? What is your unique value? So now that you have understood what personal branding is all about, what makes you different? What is that your unique value? What makes you unique? What will separates you from other teachers such that someone will want to patronize you? We are going to discuss your unique value, what you should look at when you're developing. So what should be your unique value? Now, one of the greatest mistake many professional teachers make is trying to be everything to everyone. A teacher will want to say, I teach mathematics, I teach English, I teach chemistry, I teach physics, I teach biology, I teach. Jack of all trade, often is said, is a master of none. So if you want to build a strong personal brand, you must first of all understand what makes you unique. Ask yourself, what subject do I teach best? That should give you an idea of what to build your niche about. What problems do people naturally come to me to solve? When people come to you to solve a particular problem, is because probably they've seen you solve the problem somewhere else before, or in another situation before, or they have a feeling from their interactions with you that you have the capacity, the capability of solving this problem. Maybe you can help children who are slow in writing or slow in reading to pick up, and people once or twice have referred their children to you in that direction. That is something you should look at and emphasize on as you build your personal brand. What problem do people naturally come to you to solve? What skill do you possess that distinguishes you from others? The next thing you should ask yourself is, what am I passionate about? Because when you begin to pursue an area that you're not passionate about, you might get fatigued. You might get discouraged along the line. But when it is something that you're passionate about and people are already pointing at you as being good in that area, then it's something you should take up. Like I've already mentioned, are you good at helping children who are slow in writing? Are you good at helping children who are slow in reading? Are you an expert in teaching handwriting? Somebody was paid some time ago in the school where I teach to come and teach teachers Nelson handwriting, cursive handwriting. So that person is an expert in that area, helping children develop special handwriting skills. So what is your area of expertise? What is your area of uniqueness? You see, your uniqueness is your greatest advantage. Some teachers are exceptional at preparing children for examination, preparing them for WAEC, for NECO, for SAT, for TOEFL, for IE, International English, for foreign, you know what I am trying to say. Some teachers are experts in those areas. IGCSE and GCSE. Some people are experts in these areas. So what is your area of expertise? Some are experts in classroom management. If you're good in classroom management, you can become a consultant for schools, teaching how to handle challenges in the classroom, how to, understanding the psychology of your class children, how to position them where they should be seated in the class, how to make the class interesting for children to learn conducively. Others are gifted. Some other people are gifted in helping struggling students improve academically. I've already mentioned that. There are those who are passionate about educational technology, AI, and other educational technologies that help in learning. Some are naturally gifted communicators. They can flow. No matter how difficult the child is, by the time they begin to talk to the child, you see that the child begins to cooperate. I know a particular lady in the school where I work. She's a minder. There's a particular child who will never want to follow any other person except this lady when he comes to school in the morning. So when he comes to school in the morning, this lady picks him up alone, only her, and takes this child to the class because she has developed a way of communicating with each other. Probably the child took a like of the lady from the very first day they interacted, and because of that, from time to time, this child's parents appreciate this lady financially. Now, never underestimate the value of your uniqueness, because God did not create duplicates. You are unique. Find out that unique area and begin to use it as a teacher. God created you original, and your personal brand should reflect what makes you different from others. That is what branding is all about. Discovering your uniqueness and using it in your area of teaching. Now, we go over to the next slide, which is defining your niche. Now, have you heard the saying that the riches rather, are in the niches? The riches are in the niches. People are willing to pay experts, not because they just want to waste their money. No, because there's something unique about that person that they want to get from the person. That's why they are paying. Nobody goes to the hospital because he wants to, he has so much money he wants to throw away. No, you go to the hospital, have your problem solved. And oftentimes you go to see consultants when the matters are difficult and in a particular area. So people are willing to pay experts. They will rarely pay generalists. For example, instead of simply introducing yourself as a teacher is generic. A teacher is a general thing. It's general. So when you're positioning yourself, when you're announcing yourself, when you're introducing yourself, rather than saying, I am a teacher, beloved, you can say, I am a mathematics specialist. I am a physics coach. I am a JAMB preparation tutor. I am a British curriculum teacher. I am a STEM educator. I am an educational technology trainer. I am a classroom management consultant. These are announcing you. This is ways of announcing yourself as an expert in your area of expertise, in your area where you are gifted. So the more clearer you define your area of expertise, the easier it becomes for people to remember you and recommend you. So don't just say, I am a teacher. I'm taking that again. Don't just announce yourself as a teacher. Announce yourself based on your area of expertise. A mathematics specialist, a physics coach, a JAMB preparatory tutor, a British curriculum teacher, a STEM educator, a classroom management consultant, and educational technology trainer. Remember, when you try to appeal to everyone, you end up attracting no one. When you try to appeal to everyone, you will end up attracting no one at all. So define your niche. I am going to break this video at the end of the next slide, which is identifying your target audience. Who is your target audience? How do you identify them? It is important to know and answer questions that will help you identify your target audience. And what is these questions? First is, who do you want to serve? Very important question. Who am I targeting at serving? How do I reach them? These two questions are very, very important. So, who do you want to serve? Because branding is not about you. No. Branding is about the people you are helping. In branding, you are trying to position yourself to be located, to be seen by those that you intend to help. So your audience may include students, your audience may include parents, it may be schools. For me, as I'm talking to you now, my audience is my fellow teachers. My audience could also be educational institutions. Audience could include international clients. So the clearer you are about your audience, the more effective your communication becomes. Because the way you are communicating, or the way you will communicate when you are targeting parents, might not be the way you communicate when you are targeting educational institutions. Might not be the way you communicate. The way you communicate when you are targeting local schools here in Nigeria might not be the way you communicate when you're targeting schools abroad. The way you communicate when you're targeting parents abroad might not be the same way you communicate when you're targeting parents locally here in Nigeria. So the more you clarify the audience you are targeting, the more effective your communication becomes. For example, the content you create for parents will be different from the content you create for teachers. Clarity attracts opportunity. That's the closing line for this part 1 of this seminar, this very moment. Clarity attracts opportunity. So we'll break it here, and in the next part of it, the part 2, I will continue with the training.